Hello there, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing good. As usual, I wish you great health and success in your life. Now, as I had promised you all in my previous video, we'll be talking in depth about all the topics related to English language and related to confidence. And in that very context, I present to you this video, which is going to be all about vocabulary. Vocabulary, that is the words that a person chooses to communicate, to express, to share ideas, can be understood in two different contexts. First one being very general, that is the vocabulary that consists of all the words that exist in a particular language or subject and in general is understood by a group of people. That is the very first basic definition of vocabulary. Now the second definition, it defines a person's personal vocabulary, that is the amount of words she or he knows. So for the sake of this video, we will be discussing about the second context of vocabulary in great detail. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we get started with the video, I have a small challenge for you all. See, my whole purpose of running this channel is to help you understand and learn English in the simplest way possible. But for the sake of this video and for you all to get started with your vocabulary training, I am going to use some complex words throughout the video, and your task is to find them out, to jot them down and find their meaning. This is a great way for you all to get started, and this is basically your call to action. Right? So, since we know the definition of vocabulary now, and in what context we are going to be talking about vocabulary in this particular video, the first question that we have to tackle is, why is vocabulary important? Now, talking about the importance of vocabulary, linguist David Wilkins once said that without grammar, little can be conveyed, but without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. I mean, it goes without saying. Indeed, people need to use words in order to express themselves, be it in any language. Also, learners too acknowledge the importance of vocabulary acquisition. In my experience, I have noticed that people usually find it really difficult to speak English fluently. They particularly find speaking and writing activities very challenging and exhausting. And this is because they keep on using the same words and phrases again and again, and in no time their conversation gets abruptly interrupted due to the missing words. And the main reason for such communication problems or issues is the lack of vocabulary. Also, the problem of forgetting words immediately after someone has elicited their meaning or after people look them up in the dictionary is also very persistent. And this is a really big cause for the lack of vocabulary. So to sum it up for you all, working on vocabulary helps a person in improving their language level and communicate in English confidently and more effectively. Question number 2. What makes English vocabulary difficult? In English, like in any other foreign language, there are some words that are easier to learn and understand and memorize than others. Easiest of them all are the words that are more or less identical to a person's native language. However, people might be trapped in their confidence with which they memorize these words, since English has some problematic words that we refer to as the false friends. These false friends are the words that are identical in form to certain, let's say, Romanian words, but have completely different meaning. Now let us understand this with an example, okay? Let's take the word sensible. While many people might simply translate the word as sensible, they might be astonished to find out that the Romanian equivalent of sensible is in fact rational, while the English equivalent of sensible is sensitive. Now this example demonstrates to us the crucial importance of paying special attention to these false friends and encouraging people to be cautious of them and to practice them as often as possible. So, now we know the definition of vocabulary in both the contexts. We know why vocabulary is important, and we know the difficulties that occur when we try to work on our vocabulary. All we are left with now are the strategies, the tips that we need to use to improve our vocabulary. Now, in order to be able to have a rich vocabulary, not only do people need to learn as many new words as possible, but they also need to remember them, because in fact, learning is remembering, right? See, unlike grammar learning, which is based on a system of rules, vocabulary acquisition or vocabulary knowledge implies more on acquiring individual items. It is primarily based on your memory, right? So with that, I'm going to give you not 3, not 5, but 8 different strategies to improve your vocabulary drastically. So, strategy number 1, read voraciously. See, it's undeniable that reading is the most effective way to get accustomed with new vocabulary. You see words being used in a certain context. That is the most effective way of learning new words than, for example, just merely memorizing them. With context surrounding each new word, there's a high chance that you can guess its meaning just by understanding the overall text. This, my friend, is the natural way of learning something new that is embedded in the human system, right? And reading gives you the best opportunity to get exposed with such a natural way of learning. If you're not able to infer the meaning of a new word by just going through the text, it is probably because there are too many unknown words in the text. In that case, try reading easier materials. The key to good reading is making it a pleasurable activity. So do not be afraid of coming across unknown words, but please make sure that you are reading the material that is appropriate for according to your reading level. Strategy number 2, use it or lose it. Now don't just settle after you have learned a new word by reading it or by looking it up in the dictionary. I mean, those are good starts, but it's only by using those words that you truly commit them to your long-term memory. So be creative and try to use those words in as many ways as possible, right? Write them down, read them out loud, or create sentences with them mentally or preferably in writing. Use it in a conversation, discuss it with a friend or family member. You know, there are so many ways you can follow to embed those words in your memory. And this actually tackles the very important problem that people usually face that we already talked about. And it's about forgetting those words immediately after someone has elicited their meaning to you or you've looked up into the dictionary. So make it a practice or else you will lose it. Strategy number 3, make friends with dictionary. A dictionary is the first indispensable resource when it comes to improving your vocabulary. You know, it's only by looking up a word in the dictionary that you understand its true meaning, its spelling, its alternate definition, its type, and all the other information that surrounds it. A thesaurus is also a good, valuable resource when it comes to learning new words and finding connections between their synonyms and antonyms and all the other things. So consider adding a good dictionary and a thesaurus as well in your bookshelf. Here are a few recommendations. Now, even if you have a good dictionary in print already, you cannot go wrong with having an online dictionary at your disposal, right? So here again are a few honorable mentions. So make yourself friends with the dictionary. It's your best weapon. Strategy number 4, learn just one new word every day. See, if you just focus on learning one new word every day, you will pretty soon notice that how they quickly add up to your vocabulary, right? And there are some websites also that provide these word of the day services as well. For example, Merriam-Webster's online word of the day service. You know, it's the most feature-rich and most comprehensive when it comes to learning new words. right? It provides you with the most relevant words of all. Then there is audio pronunciation. Then there is word history as well. So yeah, another recommendation is WordSmart Wordcast, a very similar service, and it also provides you with comprehensiveness of a word, its difficulty level, and then again pronunciation is there. So just take baby steps and get started. Just one word a day, and you'll pretty soon find yourself equipped with an arsenal of new words to get you on track with your vocabulary. Strategy number 5, understanding the true meaning of the words and practicing them in real time. So by deeply understanding the true meaning of the words, you can grow your vocabulary exponentially. Instead of just merely trying to memorize those words, try to look up to their true meaning by finding out their etymology, their word roots, prefixes, suffixes, antonyms, synonyms, and whatnots. Matter of fact, a lot of English words, almost half of English words are derived from Greek and Latin roots. So numerous benefits come from being familiar with them. Understanding the true logic behind the word formation pays you really good when it comes to learning and recalling the words. So for example, the word breakfast means breaking the fast that you were having from the previous night to the present morning. That means breaking the fast, breakfast. Simple. Similarly, rainbow, a bow or an arc created by rain. You see, it's so simple. And of course, many of those things are very trivial to the native speaker. But having such insights about words, be it foreign or any other, always pays off in having a good deep connection with the words, right? So make it a habit and try to deeply understand each and every word that you come across. Strategy number 6, follow a process. So to make vocabulary improvement a permanent habit of yours, you have to make it as habitual, as automatic, and as deeply integrated in your workflow as possible. Otherwise, what will happen is that you won't do it on the days when you're too busy. And in that regard, a very useful concept is of maintaining a word journal. So by having a predefined place where you can capture all the new words that you come across, this makes the whole process much more efficient, right? Your process can be as simple as you wish, but the key here is to predefine it and then follow it. All right. So by knowing how and how often you will be processing your journal, you can stay on track with your vocabulary improvement process, even when there are other pressing matters that demand your immediate attention. All right. So follow a systematic process. Strategy number 7, leverage every resource you can. So it goes without saying that internet is a gold mine when it comes to vocabulary building right now. See, there are numerous applications that you can try. There are a lot of books related to vocabulary building, right? There is a ton of free literature available on websites such as my favorite, Project Gutenberg, right? And you can go about finding some specific word lists, for example, feeling words or descriptive words. Or you can even learn some classy Shakespearean insults. Yes, I said that. See, the whole point here is that you are only limited by your willingness to learn. So, let curiosity be your guide and you will never run out of resources to learn from, my friend. And finally, strategy number 8, diversify your learning. Try doing things that you are not used to on a normal day-to-day basis. Exploring a hobby or any other activity can be a great way of coming across new words, since every niche has its own jargons and unique ways of communicating, right? So read books and magazines than the ones you are used to. Watch foreign language movies or pick up new hobbies. Hang out with different types of people. So by doing things out of the ordinary, you will not only improve your vocabulary, but will also make your life a lot more interesting. All right? So diversify it as much as you can. And with that, we are done with yet another video. I hope you all found it interesting and informative at the same time. Thank you all for staying till the end. And I know this video is a bit lengthy one, but when we have to go in detail, there's not much I can do, right? So I surrender this video to you to nurture in your own way, and feel free to connect with me if you're facing any kind of a challenge in your journey. I'll be more than happy to be your helping hand, right? So with that, I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and thank you again. Bye bye. Cheers.